Why do they ignore you? Why do they pull away when you try to get closer? You text first, you double text, you try harder. But the more effort you put in, the more distant they become. Maybe it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, or even respect at work. You give and give, but they never give back. Does this sound familiar? Now picture this instead. You don't chase, you don't beg. You simply live your life, and they come to you. They start texting first, they start respecting you. They want to be around you, not because you asked for it, but because you became the kind of person they can't ignore. This is the secret that the Stoics understood over 2,000 years ago. Chasing is weakness. Attracting is power. The moment you stop seeking validation, you become the one they seek. The moment you stop begging for love, respect, or attention, you command it naturally. Don't chase. Make them chase you, the Stoic way. Welcome to Stoic Spirit, the channel where ancient wisdom meets modern power. Here, we break down the timeless strategies of Stoicism to help you gain control, master yourself, and build an unshakable presence. If you're tired of being overlooked, if you want to learn how to command respect, develop emotional control, and become the kind of person people can't ignore, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because here we don't just talk about Stoicism, we live it. And stay with me until the very end of this video, because I'm going to share the most powerful shift you can make. One that will change the way people see you forever. Master yourself. Control your worth. Live Stoic. Number 1. The biggest mistake people make. Let's be honest, we've all done it. You meet someone and you want them to like you, so you overinvest. You send too many messages, you try too hard, you give too much. Or maybe at work you keep seeking approval, thinking it will get you ahead. You say yes to everything, you try to impress your boss. You want to be seen as valuable. But what happens? The more you give, the less they respect you. The more effort you put in, the more they pull away. You think, maybe I'm not doing enough? Maybe if I give more, they'll finally see my worth. But no, that's not how it works. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how the people who don't care as much often seem to have more power? The ones who don't chase, who don't seek approval, who don't beg for attention, somehow they command more of it. Why? Because they understand something you don't. The harsh truth: chasing equals lowering your own value. Here's the brutal reality. When you chase, you're signaling to others that you believe they are more valuable than you, that their approval is something you desperately need. And when you put someone on a pedestal like that, they start looking down on you. This happens in relationships. It happens in friendships. It happens in business. When you overinvest in someone who isn't reciprocating, you're training them to undervalue you. You're teaching them that they don't have to work for your attention because you'll always be there, waiting, hoping, chasing. And here's where it gets even worse. The energy you project creates the reality you live in. When you chase, you radiate neediness. And neediness is repulsive. People can sense it, even if you don't say a word. It's in the way you text too fast. It's in the way you laugh a little too hard at their jokes. It's in the way you keep checking your phone, waiting for a response. And what does neediness attract? More rejection. Because here's the irony. The harder you try, the less you get. Think about it. When someone is too eager to impress, we instinctively value them less. It's why the job candidate who begs for a position often gets overlooked, while the confident one who seems like they have options gets the offer. It's why the friend who's always available gets taken for granted, while the one who's a little mysterious is always invited. The Stoics understood this truth long before modern psychology did. They knew that your value should never depend on external validation. You don't need someone else to confirm your worth. You don't need their approval to feel complete. The Stoic perspective: you are already enough. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them." It's not their rejection that truly hurts. It's not their lack of attention that makes you feel unworthy. It's your own belief that you need them. And that belief, it's a trap. Because the second you believe you need someone's approval to feel valuable, you give them all the power. You let them decide your worth. And once you do that, You become dependent on their validation like a drug. But here's the good news. You can break free from this right now. How? By shifting your mindset from seeking to self-sufficiency. Flip the script, stop seeking, start being. Instead of thinking, how can I get them to like me? Shift your mindset to, how can I focus on being my best self? Instead of thinking, why won't they text me back? Start asking, why am I so focused on someone who clearly isn't valuing me? Instead of reacting to people's behavior, become the one who sets the tone. This is what separates the powerful from the weak, the respected from the overlooked, the ones who attract effortlessly from the ones who chase endlessly. Your value is not up for negotiation. Let me leave you with this. The moment you stop chasing, you shift the power dynamic. You go from needing to choosing. You go from waiting to leading. You stop lowering yourself for the sake of others, and instead you rise and let them meet you at your level. So the next time you catch yourself over-giving, over-investing, over-trying, stop. Take a breath. Remind yourself, I don't need to chase. I am already enough. And watch how everything starts changing. Number 2, the Stoic Mindset. Control what you can, let go of what you can't. Let me ask you something. How much of your life is spent worrying about things outside your control? How much time have you wasted obsessing over whether someone likes you, whether they will text you back, whether your boss will recognize your efforts, whether that person will finally appreciate what you bring to the table? The truth is, the more you try to control what's outside of you, the more powerless you become. The more you try to force someone to like you, respect you, or acknowledge you, the more desperate you seem. And desperation? It repels. The illusion of control. Why you keep losing power. Most people live their lives in a constant state of reaction. If they get a good text, they feel happy. If they get ignored, their whole day is ruined. But if your confidence depends on how others treat you, then who's really in control? The Stoics had a solution. Detach from the illusion of control. True strength comes from knowing what is and what is not within your power. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us and some things are not. What people think about you, not up to you. How they treat you, not up to you. Whether they text back, whether they stay, whether they go, not up to you." Right now, ask yourself, are you truly in control or are you still chasing? But here's what is up to you. How you react, how you carry yourself, how much power you give to things that don't deserve it. From seeking to being, the shift that changes everything. The moment you shift from seeking to being, everything changes. Instead of asking, do they like me? Ask yourself, do I even like myself? Instead of worrying about whether they will choose you, ask, am I living a life that I would choose for myself? The moment you stop needing approval, people start giving it to you freely. Because confidence is magnetic, and a person who is at peace with themselves attracts everything effortlessly, not just in relationships, but in every aspect of life. The Stoic secret: indifference is power. Indifference doesn't mean being cold or emotionless. It means you are centered within yourself. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That means when someone ignores you, you don't spiral. When someone insults you, you don't react emotionally. When someone tries to manipulate you, you stay unshaken. The more detached you are from needing approval, the more intriguing and respected you become. Practical steps to master this mindset. 1. Control your responses, not their actions. If someone ghosts you, let them. If they don't appreciate you, walk away. Your silence is more powerful than any argument. 2. Create, don't chase. Build a life so fulfilling that you don't have time to wonder why someone isn't texting back. If you're constantly improving yourself, you'll never feel the need to chase. 3. Treat attention like a privilege, not a right. Your energy is valuable. Not everyone deserves access to you. If someone takes you for granted, reduce their access. The moment you stop making yourself overly available, people start valuing your presence. Final thought: the only approval you need is your own. When you stop chasing, you take your power back. You go from needing to choosing. You stop waiting and start leading. And when you reach that level, People will chase you, not because you force them to, but because they can't help but be drawn to your energy. So the next time you feel the urge to over-explain, to react emotionally, to seek approval, stop, take a breath, and remind yourself, I don't need to chase. I don't need to seek. I am already enough. And then, watch how the world starts chasing you instead. Number 3. The law of scarcity. People value what's not always available. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you truly appreciated something that was always there? When was the last time you felt grateful for the air you breathe, the sun that rises every morning, or the running water in your home? Probably not very often. Not because they aren't valuable, but because they're always available. Now, think about the opposite. Think about the last time you craved something you couldn't have. Maybe it was a limited edition item that sold out before you could buy it. Maybe it was someone's attention that you used to have but started to disappear. Why do we desire things more when they are scarce? Because human nature is wired this way. We value what is rare. We take for granted what is always available. And this psychological principle applies not just to things, but to people, including you. The problem with being too available. If you are always there for someone, always texting first, always checking in, always making yourself available at their convenience, they will start to undervalue you. Not necessarily because they are bad people, but because that's how the human mind works. Think about it. The employee who is always willing to work late is often overlooked for promotions, while the one who sets boundaries is seen as a leader. The friend who is always available is often taken for granted, while the one who has a busy and fulfilling life is respected. The romantic partner who constantly seeks attention is often ignored, while the one who is comfortable on their own becomes more attractive. If you don't create scarcity in your presence, people will assume your time is not valuable. And here's the truth. If you give your time and energy away too easily, people will treat it as if it's worth nothing. Marcus Aurelius and the power of holding back. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, understood this principle. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What does this mean in the context of scarcity? It means that instead of giving away your attention and energy freely, you must control it. Imagine if Marcus Aurelius, the ruler of the most powerful empire in the world, had spent his time constantly seeking approval from others. Imagine if he had chased people's respect instead of commanding it. Would he have been seen as a great leader? Of course not. His power came from his ability to withhold, to remain composed, to make his presence something that had meaning. How scarcity creates value in relationships and social dynamics. This principle applies to every area of life. 1. Scarcity in romantic relationships. If you are always available, always texting first, always showing you care more than the other person, they will stop valuing your presence. But when you pull back and focus on yourself, when you show that your world doesn't revolve around them, something interesting happens. They start wondering about you. They start checking their phone, hoping to hear from you. They start realizing that your presence is not guaranteed. And suddenly, they value it more. 2. Scarcity in friendships. Ever notice how the friend who always cancels plans at the last minute is often the one people chase after? Why? Because their time feels exclusive. But the friend who is always available, their presence starts to feel ordinary, even if they are a great person. If you always make yourself available, people assume your time isn't worth much. But when you become selective with your presence, when you show that you have your own priorities, people start respecting your time more. 3. Scarcity in business and career. The most successful professionals are not the ones who try to please everyone. They are the ones who set clear boundaries, value their time, and make others earn their attention. The consultant who charges premium prices is seen as an expert. The employee who confidently says no to unnecessary work is seen as a leader. The business that creates exclusivity, waiting lists, limited releases, generates more demand. People value what is not easily accessible. This is why luxury brands don't mass-produce their items. They know that scarcity creates demand, So why are you making yourself endlessly available when even billion-dollar brands don't? How to apply the law of scarcity in your own life. 1. Make your time expensive. Stop giving your attention away to people who haven't earned it. If someone isn't reciprocating effort, don't chase them. Pull back. Let them feel the absence of your energy. 2. Stop over-explaining and oversharing. Mystery creates attraction. If you constantly explain yourself, if you always tell people what you're thinking, you remove all curiosity. But when you become more selective with what you share, people become more intrigued, more interested, more drawn to you. And 3. Delay your responses and commitments. If someone asks for your time, don't say yes immediately. Successful people don't drop everything the moment someone calls. Instead, they take their time to evaluate whether it's worth their energy. When you become less immediately available, people see you as more valuable. 4. Walk away when necessary. Scarcity only works if you are willing to walk away from situations that don't respect your value. If someone isn't treating you right, if a job is draining you, if a friendship is one-sided, step back. Let people feel your absence. And here's what happens. The right people will step up. The wrong people will fade away. Either way, you win. Final thought. Become a limited edition nice. At the end of the day, you must ask yourself, do I want to be common or do I want to be valued? Because common things are easy to find. They're everywhere. They're taken for granted. But rare things, limited editions, they are pursued. They are cherished. They are respected. So stop making yourself common. Stop giving away your time, your energy, your presence so freely. Become scarce. Become exclusive. Become someone of high value. Because the moment you do, the world will start noticing. The right people will start chasing. And you'll finally understand what it means to be truly valued. Now that you understand why scarcity makes you valuable, how do you actually apply this in your daily life? That's exactly what we'll cover next. Number 4. Practical steps to stop chasing and start attracting. At this point, you understand why chasing lowers your value and why people respect what is scarce. But now let's talk about something even more important. How do you actually apply this in your daily life? How do you go from being someone who seeks validation to someone who attracts effortlessly? Here are 3 Stoic-based principles that will fundamentally shift your mindset and help you develop a presence that naturally commands respect, attention, and admiration. Rule number 1. Focus on self-mastery. Become someone worth chasing. Let's be honest, most people spend their time obsessing over others instead of focusing on themselves. They ask, do they like me? Instead of, do I like myself? They wake up and immediately check their phone to see if someone responded. They refresh their notifications, hoping for approval from others. But here's the truth. The more you focus outward, the weaker you become. If you want to become the kind of person people are drawn to, you need to shift your energy inward. Think about the most attractive, confident, and respected people you know. Are they the ones constantly chasing others? Are they constantly seeking approval? No, they are focused on their own growth. They are improving mentally, physically, and emotionally. And because of that, people are naturally drawn to them. How to apply this in real life? Develop an obsession with self-growth. Read, learn, and improve yourself every day. The moment you shift your attention from them to you, you immediately start increasing your value. Elevate your standards. Stop accepting mediocrity in your habits, relationships, and lifestyle. When you start expecting more from yourself, others will too. Invest in your physical and mental strength. Exercise, eat well, and develop mental discipline. People are drawn to those who radiate self-control and confidence. The moment you become someone worth chasing, people will naturally start gravitating toward you. Rule number 2. Be indifferent to reactions. Take back your power. The reason people chase is simple. They care too much about how others respond to them. They text someone, and if they don't get a reply fast enough, they panic. They go on a date, and if the other person doesn't seem overly enthusiastic, they start overanalyzing. They give a presentation at work, and if they don't get immediate praise, they feel insecure. But here's the thing. The more you react emotionally, the more control you give away. The Stoic secret. Emotional control equals power. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, A wise man is content with himself. What does this mean? It means that a truly strong person is unshaken by the opinions, reactions, or behaviors of others. They are rooted in self-sufficiency. Want to know how to instantly increase your value in any situation? Start being indifferent to how others react. How to apply this in real life? If they don't text back, so what? Your mood isn't dependent on a notification. If they don't appreciate you, so what? You don't need external validation to feel worthy. If they try to test you or play mind games, stay calm. Let them wonder why you're so unbothered. When you stop seeking reactions, you become a mystery. When you stop needing validation, you become magnetic. Because people respect those who don't seek approval. Rule number 3, be a mystery. Let them wonder about you. Let me ask you this. Who is more interesting? The person who constantly over-explains themselves, shares every detail of their life, and makes their intentions crystal clear. The person who is composed, selective with their words, and always leaves people wanting more. The answer is obvious. People are drawn to what they can't fully figure out. Mystery is power. When you hold back a little, when you don't reveal everything too soon, when you keep parts of yourself private, you create intrigue. And intrigue creates attraction. Why this works in every area of life. In relationships, when you stop being predictable and start being a little mysterious, people naturally want to learn more about you. In social situations, when you listen more than you talk, people perceive you as intelligent and confident. In business, the most successful brands create exclusivity and intrigue. The same applies to you. Become someone that not everyone can access easily. How to apply this in real life? Stop over-explaining yourself. If someone asks about your plans, don't give them every little detail. Just say, I've got something interesting coming up. Let them wonder. Leave conversations on a high note. End interactions before they get boring. Let them feel like they still want more time with you. Be selective with your attention. If you give your attention too easily, it loses value. Give it to those who earn it. The less you reveal, the more people want to know. Final thought. Stop proving, start being thing. When you master these 3 rules, self-mastery, indifference, and mystery, you stop chasing. You stop trying to convince people of your worth. You stop proving yourself. And when you do that, people notice you. People respect you. People chase you. What would happen if, starting today, you stop seeking validation completely? Because now you are someone worth chasing. So the next time you feel the urge to over-explain, to react emotionally, to seek approval, stop, take a breath, and remind yourself, I don't need to chase. I don't need to seek. I am already enough. And then watch how the world starts chasing you instead. You've now learned how to stop chasing, how to control your reactions, and how to become scarce. But there's one final step that ties everything together. The moment you stop chasing, something magical happens. People sense your self-worth. They feel your confidence. They start to wonder about you, to respect you, to be drawn to you. Not because you begged for attention, not because you tried to prove your value, but because you became valuable. This is how the Stoics lived. They never begged for approval. They never lowered themselves just to be accepted. They simply became great, and the world took notice. So, the next time you feel the urge to chase, don't. Don't text first just to get validation. Don't over-explain yourself just to feel understood. Don't waste your energy trying to convince someone to see your worth. Instead, step back. Focus on your own growth. Build yourself into the kind of person who doesn't need to chase because you naturally attract. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop seeking, it comes to you. The moment you stop needing their attention, they start craving yours. The moment you stop proving, people start noticing. Because true power isn't about being the loudest. It isn't about demanding attention. It's about mastering yourself so completely that people can't help but be drawn to you. Now it's time to ask yourself, are you ready to make this shift? Because this isn't just about theory, it's about applying it in your life, right now. The next time you catch yourself chasing, stop. Instead of looking outward, turn your focus inward. Instead of asking, how can I make them like me? Ask, how can I make myself unshakable? That's the real game changer. If this video helped you shift your mindset, there's more where that came from. Make sure to subscribe to Stoic Spirit for more powerful insights on self-mastery, confidence, and living with purpose. And if you're serious about transforming your mindset, don't stop here. Check out the next video on our channel because the journey to true power and self-respect never ends. Thank you for watching, and remember, master yourself, control your worth, live stoic.